In this video, we are going to see how to register user to WebinarKit on successful Razorpay payment. So let us say you're using Razorpay as a payment gateway and you want that every time a payment is made through Razorpay for a particular product for which you are organizing a webinar. So the person should be registered as a registrant in this WebinarKit. Now, how would you do that? For this, you will have to integrate these two applications, and you can integrate these two applications using Pabbly Connect. Here, your trigger application would be Razorpay and your action application would be WebinarKit. Now, let me take you to my screen and show you how. So, let us begin with the process. The first thing that we have to do is we have to type the URL pabbly.com/connect, and as we click on enter, it will take us to the landing page of the software. Now here on the right hand side, you can see two options, sign in and sign up for free. If you are an existing user, you can simply sign in, and if you are a new user, you have to sign up by clicking here, and this will not take more than 2 minutes. Here you will get 100 free tasks at the time of account creation, so just sign up here. Now, me being an existing user, I'm going to click on sign in. And now it has taken me to the All Apps page. Since we are doing this integration using Pabbly Connect software, we are going to click here, Access Now. And now it has taken us to the dashboard of the software. On the right hand side, you can see a blue tab, Create Workflow. I'm going to click on this and a dialog box appears which is asking us to name this workflow. Here, our objective is to register the user to WebinarKit on successful Razorpay payment. So I'm going to name this workflow as Razorpay to WebinarKit integration. And now let's click on create. Now here you can see this particular window. It has two very important events, trigger and action. Triggers and actions are basically those two concepts and principles on which this entire automation works. Trigger means when this happens, an action says do this. So basically action is the response of the trigger. So here what we need is every time there is a successful payment through Razorpay, then that particular applicant should be created as a registrant in WebinarKit. So my application would be first Razorpay. Let's click on this. And now the trigger event is going to be payment captured. So once done, here we have received this webhook URL, which is going to help us to establish a connect between Pabbly Connect and Razorpay. So here I'm going to copy this down. And now what do we need to do? We have to log into our Razorpay account and navigate to the webhook section and available under settings. So I have already logged into my Razorpay account and here I have to go. Now let's go down and here we can see settings. Let's click on this. And now here you can see webhooks. So I'm going to click on this now. And then on the right hand side we can see add new webhook. Let's click. And here we have to paste the URL. Let's paste it. Now the active events. Here we have to select the active events as payment captured. So I'm going to click on payment captured and then click on create webhook. So here you can see webhook saved successfully. Let's go back to Pabbly Connect. Now it is asking us to log into the application where we have added the webhook URL and do a test submission so that the data can be recorded here in the webhook response. Which means now we have to make a test payment on Razorpay. So let's go to our Razorpay account and here on the left hand side you can see payment pages. So let's click on this and here you can see all the products that we have. So let us say that we wish to buy the core PHP programming. Okay, so I'm going to copy this down and then I'm going to paste this link over here and then press on enter. Now here you can see the core PHP programming, the payment details are here, amount, course. So let's select the course as core PHP programming, full name. So let's say the name is test user, email is again testuser@pabblytudes.com and then we have the mobile number. Remember that we have to write the mobile number along with the country code. Let's click on pay. So here now we have to make the payment. My card details are already stored. So I'm quickly going to just enter the CVV. Click on pay and now again here I have to fill in the OTP. So let's click on submit now. and here you can see that the payment is successful. Now going back to Pabbly Connect, here let's see that if we have received the response. Yes, we have received the response. This is the name, email address and mobile number of the person. So we have got all the details here. If we will scroll down, we only made a payment of 350 rupees, but here it is showing as 35,000. Why? Because Razorpay and Stripe, these particular applications, they do not take decimal into consideration. So for this, you will have to use number formatter to change the number here. So now the next action step. Basically what I want is, I have organized this webinar for a particular product training, and I wish that whenever there is payment only for that particular product, that particular user should be registered for this webinar thing, not everyone. So here I'll have to put a filter. So now I'm going to choose my next application as filter, which is a feature by Pabbly. So now here I'll have to select the label. For this, I have to select the course. So here, if I'll see this, let's find PHP, and this is the one. So this is the name of my course, and this should be equal to the name of the course. And to map this data, basically I'm going to go up, and here I'm going to select the name of my course. So I'm going to paste it here, and now let's click on save and send test request. And here you can see that the condition is true. Basically what has happened, that since yes, we have registered for the same course, so it has allowed us. And now we have to choose the next step. Add another action step, and this time the application will be WebinarKit. So here let's click on WebinarKit. And now what would be the action event? New webinar registration. Let's click on connect here. And now here Pabbly Connect is asking to connect itself with WebinarKit account. So for this setup, we have to click on add new connection, and now it is asking for a token. For this particular token, we have to follow the following steps. First, we have to log into our WebinarKit account, then navigate to the profile settings and API access, and then we have to create this API key. So I'm going to take you to my webinar account, and here this is the settings. Let's click on settings. And now I'm going to scroll down. Here you can see API access, and this is the private API key. Let's copy this and go back to Pabbly Connect. And here I'm going to paste this. This is our token. And let's click on save. So here this means that Pabbly Connect and WebinarKit, these two applications are finally connected. Now it is asking me for further details, webinar ID. Now for this webinar ID, I'm going to take you to my WebinarKit account. So these are the webinars that I have already created. I'm going to show you how to create one. Let's click on this new webinar. And now this particular webinar, can be named. So first of all, if you have a video URL, you can paste it here. I'm going to click on next. And now the webinar details. So this is the webinar presenter. So I have not selected any presenter, so you can always select. And then the schedule. So let's say the schedule is on, and then we have the date. Let's say the date is 14th of August, and then this is the time, and then we have to select a time zone. So I'm going to select Asia, Kolkata, and here it is, and then let's click on add date. Now it is showing the scheduled webinar dates, which is on 14th of August, 12 p.m. Asia, Kolkata time. Now let's click on next. So this is the design page where you can design your registration page and your thank you page. Click on next. Now this is the live action. So when do you want? So do you want the live chat to be disabled or enabled, and etc. And then the last thing is other. So here you have the confirmation mails, you have the reminder mails, and etc. Now let's go down and click on complete. You can design this entire webinar kit as per your wish. So this is how you are supposed to create a new webinar. Going back to our Pabbly Connect page, here I'm again going to connect this. And this time I'm going to click on select existing connection, and now click on save. Once done, here we have to map the webinar ID. So I am going to choose developers conference, and now the email address, and here I'm going to write email, and this is the email address of the user, testuser@pabblytudes.com. Now the first name and the last name. Now there is one thing, if I show you Razor payment and if I write name, here you can see that the first name and second name are coming together. For this we will have to add another action step here. Let's click on this. And here I'm going to choose a feature by Pabbly which is text formatter. Let's click on this. Now if I'll scroll down, we have to select the action event. Here, what do I want? I want to split my text. So let's click on this and then click on connect. Now what is the text that I want to split? I want to split the name. So I'm going to type name here and this is the test user. And now what would be the separator? Space. So you will have to write space within curly braces and double curly braces. Now what do I want? Which segment? I want both the segments. So I'm going to click on all and let's click on save and send test request. Now here you can see that we have received our name in the desired format. Let's go down. We are again going to click on this connect just to make sure that our connection is not lost. And if I come down here, let's map the first name. For this here, this time I'm going to the third step, which is text formatter by Pabbly. And this is my first name. And then the last name, again I'm going to repeat the process and this is my last name. Then we need the country code, so you can write your own country code. I'm going to write +91 and then the phone number. But again it is asking that the phone number has to be in this particular format. But if I'll show you, my phone number is not in the same format. So it is number. It has the country code along with it. So here I'll have to remove the country code. So let me add one more action step here. So I'm going to choose text formatter again here. And then the action event would be split text. Let's click on connect. And which one do I want? I want the mobile number. So let me map the mobile number. And here my separator would be 91. Because I do not want this 91, and then I want the second segment, which means the numbers after 91. So let's click on second and save and send test request. And here you can see that we have received our number in the desired format. So I'm going to now go down, come down here and map the mobile number. So here I have mapped the mobile number. And then here you have these custom fields, so you can add the data that you want. Now the webinar presentation date. Now remember that this particular date has to be written exactly in this particular format which is given, and we do not have to map this. Why? Because this is static and not dynamic. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here, and then I'm going to change the date. So it is 2022 and it's the August month and the date was 14th and the time was 12 noon. So it is 00. So this is how I have written it. And now the full date, and here we have to enter the full date in this format. So I'm again going to copy this, paste it here, and now let's write. So done. Now I'm going to click on save and send test request. So here we have received the response. So basically what should happen, since we are trying to connect these two applications, Razorpay and WebinarKit, now we have made the test payment and even this WebinarKit is connected. So let's see if the same registrant has been added to our webinar that we have created already. So I'm going to take you back to my webinar, and here this is the developers conference where we have added. So I'm going to refresh this page once. And here we can see that one registrant has been added to our developers conference. So this means that this entire integration process is finally successful. Now I need to check if this is live and if this is this integration is totally successful. So I'm going to go back to Razorpay and make another payment for the same account. So here core PHP programming. So here for core PHP programming, I'm going to copy this. And again, I'll paste it here and make a payment. So let's say the course is PHP full name. So let's say the name is test2 dummy and email address is test2@pabblytudes.com. And now here the mobile number is this. Click on pay. So here what do we need to do? We need to fill in the card details. So here I go. Now the OTP, submit. And here we are done with the payment. What does this mean? That now this particular registrant should be added to our webinar. So let's go to our webinar and quickly check this. And yes, here you can see that 2 registrants have been added, and now I'm going to show you the analytics, and here you can see the name of the 2 users. So this is test user and then we have test 2. So this means that yes, this entire process is properly integrated, the 2 applications are connected, and next time, every time there is a Razorpay payment for this particular product, the person would be added as a registrant to this webinar kit. I hope you have understood this process. In case of any doubt, you can always refer to the workflow which is given in the description box. So what did we do here? First, we had chosen our trigger event as trigger application as Razorpay, and the event was payment captured, and then we had chosen another feature by Pabbly, which is filter. Why? Because we wanted to continue only if the payment was done for the product that we were looking for. Then we had another action step, which was webinar kit, and the event was new webinar registration. To modify the date and to modify the name, we had chosen text formatter by Pabbly. Now the workflow which is there in the description box, you can even clone and start processing immediately. Apart from this, if you have got any doubts or suggestions or any advice, you can always write to us.